the graph of y is equal to mx plus c. The graph of y equal to mx plus c, if we want to draw the graph y is equal to mx plus c on a xy plane, if this is the x axis, this is y axis, we can draw it in a different way. For example, this is one line cutting the x axis at a, y axis at b, let this is be the origin. Okay, then O to B, that length will be actually c, that has been shown here in y is equal to mx plus c form. Whenever we write down y is equal to mx plus c form of a straight line, we are talking about the slope intercept form. So c is the OB equal to c, that is y intercept, and m must be equal to tan theta as the slope of the line, m equals to tan theta is the slope of the line, and y is equal to c, that is OB is equal to c, that is the y intercept, means, and this theta, the value of tan theta by theta is equal to angle made by the line theta is the angle made by the line with positive direction of x axis. What does it mean? That means if AB is a line, then this line makes an angle theta with the positive direction of x axis, means the angle will be BAX. Getting it? BAX must be the value of theta, where we are writing tan theta as the slope. So whenever we represent the slope of a line, then we must be careful that it should be tan of the angle made by the line with the positive direction of x axis. So according to the position of the line I have drawn, so this line makes an angle, this theta, with the positive direction of x axis. Got my point? So here obviously theta will be an obtuse angle. Theta, as per drawing, it is an obtuse angle, that's why slope of this line will be negative, because tan of an obtuse angle is always negative. You must be knowing that, isn't it? Tan of acute angle is always positive, but tan of obtuse angle is always negative. So that means whenever we will see the position of the line such that its y intercept is positive and it cuts the x axis at somewhere positive portion, that is positive portion of the x axis, this side will be negative portion of the x axis. So whenever line makes an intercept positive on y axis, y intercept means the line where it cuts the y axis, distance of that point from origin, that's why I am writing this part is c. The line where it cuts the y axis, how far that point is from origin. Okay, the line is cutting the y axis at b. So the position of B from origin, that will be the y intercept. Is that okay? And as per the position of the line, it makes an angle theta with the positive direction of x axis. If you only say that the angle made by the line with x axis, then even you may take this, but the actual language will be the theta which will decide the slope of the line. So that theta should be appearing with the positive direction of x axis, isn't it? So the continuation of x axis which is going away from origin, so with that direction, whatever the angle that will appear for the line, that will be the slope deciding angle. So here it will be tan theta, and obviously this implies that here tan theta is negative. Okay, here in this case tan theta is definitely negative, So this implies that slope of the line is negative. Here we can see the slope of the line is negative. Where slope becomes positive, there the position of the line can be like this. This time you can see, though the line cuts the x-axis at somewhere negative portion, this is the y-axis. So this is y, this is x, and AB is the line cuts the x-axis at negative x position and y-axis at positive x position, such that again O to B, this much will be the y-intercept, slope will be tan of this. Now question arises, this tan theta being acute, theta will be less than 90, so tan theta is positive. Though the line, you can see the line previously it was cutting the positive portion of x-axis, and this time it is cutting the negative portion of x-axis. So wherever it cuts, either on the positive part of x-axis or negative part of the x-axis, it hardly matters. For slope to be getting positive, it is important that angle made by the line with x-axis, positive x direction of axis, with that angle made by the line must be less than 90, that is acute angle. Is it okay? Are you getting it? Yeah, any doubt? Do you have any doubt? Okay. So in this case I will say, as per this diagram, second diagram, m that is equal to, let I am suppose marking it theta 2, let here it was theta 1, okay, so that we can understand the different cases. This time m is equal to tan theta 2 being positive, okay, so positive slope, here it is, I can say this time it is positive slope. So see, one particular line, how it should be drawn with the understanding that when slope is negative and when slope is positive, you should draw it in such a way so that angle between the line and the positive x-axis, that should be seen clearly as an acute angle. Okay, that does not mean that theta always need to be acute, but whenever theta will be acute, it will be the positive slope. That means it is talking about, what does it mean of saying slope is positive? The slope positive shows that it is representing the change of y with the change of x, where along with the increase in x, y increases. How can you say? You can say as you move right to right side, that means x position is increasing, and at various x position you can see the corresponding y position is also increasing. Yes or no? So when along with increase in x, y also increases, it is called increasing function. Whenever along with x increases, y decreases like the previous one, as the x increases, the corresponding y decreases. So that's why whenever slope will be negative, it will be known as the decreasing function, and wherever the slope will be coming positive, it will represent the increasing function. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Fine. So that means now I was so in both cases, as per the situation, for positive slope means increasing value of y with the increase of x. Here y decreases with the increase of x. So this is a decreasing function, this is an increasing function. In both cases I have taken slope, that is c, I have taken y intercept c as positive, and slope in this one was negative, here it is positive. So understanding it, how the slope becomes positive or how we can decide about the slope is negative, we can decide it by observing the geometrical angle made by the line with positive direction of x-axis. Is that okay? Now, does it mean that straight line graph can only be like this, that xy graph according to slope intercept for either it will be like this or this. Can't there be any other position of straight line drawn? Yes, it can be differ provided if a particle is having y coordinate or that y intercept negative, then the line will be drawn from some negative position of y axis, and along with it, if the slope is given positive, then how can we draw it? Let's check. For example, what can you say about this graph? Tell me. What can you say about this graph on xy plane? Any idea? Yes. This time y intercept is positive or negative?
Negative.
Yes. This time y intercept is negative. So, and slope is positive or negative? No, slope is not negative, slope is positive. Why? Because I have, what did I say? I said that we must consider the angle to know the value of slope, and that angle should be formed between the straight line which is used to represent the graph and the angle it makes with the positive x direction. So, as this is the line, so this is the positive x direction, so this will be the angle theta. We must always take angle between the line and the positive direction of x axis. So, when the line will appear making certain angle with the positive direction of x axis, then that line and the positive direction of x axis will be taking the angle such that slope will be decided by the use of that angle. See, here we can try to know more about the straight line. So, there are, and this is one type, this is second, okay, this is third, right? For example, if I draw a line like this, for example, not this way, suppose this is the xy plane, xy axis, and a line is drawn like this. Yes, then also can we, if we draw this line, then what you will talk about, the slope and y-intercept. Can you tell me? Can you tell me for example, I am drawing it like this, AB is a line. So, what you will tell me about the y-intercept and the slope of the line, because these are the two most important terms. Yes. Yes, tell me.
Positive.
Which one is positive? Which one is positive, y-intercept or the slope? Yeah, tell me. Y-intercept is positive or negative?
Positive.
No. How can you say positive? Where will positive y-intercept means when the line will cut above origin. At this point, the line was cutting y-axis at a point above origin. Here also the line was cutting y-axis above origin. In these two cases, y-intercept was positive. Here also C was positive. Here in this case also C was positive, right? in this case you can see the line is cutting the y-axis at somewhere which is below the origin, isn't it? It is cutting the y-axis at B which is below the origin. So this time y-intercept C is negative. In this case also I can see the line is cutting the y-axis below the origin on y-axis, right? This is the C. So here also C is negative. So understanding the y-intercept positive or y-intercept negative meaning? Are you understanding the meaning of y-intercept positive and y-intercept negative? Is that okay? Right. So now tell me about the slope of the line in this fourth diagram. Tell me about the slope of the line in this fourth diagram. See here, I mean like in this three diagram, at least I have shown the line cutting x-axis somewhere, right? In all three lines, I am showing the drawing in such a way the line is cutting x-axis. Here it is cutting at this point, here it is cutting at this point, here it is cutting at this point, isn't it? But I haven't shown, but in this diagram I haven't shown the portion of the line that is intersecting or cutting x-axis. I have drawn it from y-axis to the right side. Had it been drawing it further backward, then I could show the point where it could cut the x-axis. Yes or no? Yes. But in all those cases, for example, in all those cases where we won't be observing the possibility of the line cutting x-axis, in this three diagram the line is definitely cutting x-axis, so that point can be observed, but here we can't see that. So under such conditions what we are supposed to do, we need to draw a line parallel to x-axis. I can draw a line parallel to x-axis. Got it? So if this is the positive direction, this dotted line is indicating a positive direction of x-axis, right? Now, though the portion of the line is actually appearing to the right side of y-axis, but if I assume it to be drawn backward, then can I see the position of the line is making, this is the angle with positive direction of x-axis, yes or no? Yes. So this time since theta is obtuse angle, so tan theta is definitely negative, right? So that means the line which is in one simple way you can see, when the line will be appearing as if in the form of inclination, right, with the moving rightward, along with the moving rightward, as the position of y increases, then it will be an increasing y with x, means you can see theta is acute. But wherever line is appearing in a declination order, right, here also it is going declination with increasing x, y gradually decreasing, from positive turns to be negative. Here with increasing x, y increases negative to positive, right? So whenever y will change from negative to positive, that means y is increasing. Wherever y will be decreasing with increasing x, there it is negative slope. Here also the same thing, as you move rightward, x increases and y this time increases, but in negative sense, that is in the downward order. So that's why here it will be said to be decreasing value of y with increasing x, means slope is obtuse, right? Slope is negative. Are you getting it? The positive slope and negative slope meaning, we need to understand all these terms. Why I am doing one by one all such variations? Because unless and until we understand all the possibilities about straight line, we won't be able to apply them in our requirement in graph of physics. Are you getting it?